Joining me actually on the desk now is everyone's favorite villain. cadiaN is with us. And I mean, my friend, we have to say, for a bunch of noobs, they almost had you at one point.
Yeah, they were playing good CS, and they were playing like disrespectful CS at times as well.
I wonder where they learned that from.
Yeah, I wonder where they learned it from. I mean, they played super well, and there was also a chance that this game was going to be 2-0. You know, they're hitting some good shots, and they're playing a very, I would say, untraditional style of Counter-Strike. But when you're then not used to playing against it, it works extremely well. There's also a reason why they just stomped into the breach and took down Fury as well. I think both games 2-0 as well. So they're playing well, but I think, you know, some banter is... I mean, it's a freaking competition. It's one of the biggest tournaments of the year. I heard that Twitter already is molding a little bit like, listen, if you listen to the 9 versus Ends game, they're literally yelling directly at one guy, like at Pavel, at Duka, right?
Yeah.
I think, you know, yelling at one guy directly, I tried this as well when other teams did it against me. I think that's way more like personal and BM than saying that someone is noobs. Like, listen, it's a competition. If you think this is the worst thing that's been said, I think you should watch some of the other games as well.
I'm going to defend you, though, because the moment cadiaN came out was off camera, he started talking about how well the team played. Some of those players, it's their first time on LAN. We're all just having a little bit of fun. We shoot each other in the head in the server. I think it's okay.
I think it's okay. Listen, I actually want to ask something about, because you guys faced them with like 2 different players back in Rio, right?
Yes.
Where Exist had to unfortunately
Yes.
stand in. What's the big difference you saw between that version and this version? Do you remember? Or?
I think they had a little more... I think when we played them in Rio, we kind of knew exactly where they were on the map at all times. Where there were definitely situations in this one where we didn't know. Like, they were better at making us guess. They were better at changing up the pace of the game as well, because in the Rio game, I felt like it was always the same pace. You knew where they were. Where here, they were taking map control in some different variants and changing up the pace, which definitely made this hard for us. So I think, I mean, I even thought that Annihilation was, like, really freaking good. So, like, when they lost him, and maybe also the same with Bartek, I was like, can they actually replace someone from the local scene that's equally good? But I think their playstyle is better right now, at least from those 2 games.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
I want to hear more about the mental side of it, because when you are like, you know, shouting at other teams and everything like that, sometimes it kind of, it's like you're putting something on the line when you do that.
Yeah.
So do you ever feel like it blows up in your face sometimes if, like, you know, they get the better of you or something?
I mean, if you lose it, it definitely hurts more, right? Especially when it's against an underdog. But for me, it's also like... I mean, I think, you know, they're not traveling to that many events, but for me, it's like when you travel to events, like if I see you guys, or if I see other teams, people are like greeting each other. They're not like saying anything. And I think, like, for me, that's, if you want to build friendships as well and like a fellow connection, you do that as well. Like, I just feel like, you know, greet each other. That's also why I wanted to beat them even more, to be honest, like, because... Yeah, I think that's... I mean, maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't know. Maybe you know more, Play, but...
I'm not from Mongolia, but I don't know.
No, but like you know the Asian region more than...
Listen, I'll tell you something about some of the other Asian teams. They do like yelling a lot as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that you don't get to see them as often. I, for one, I love it. I love the entertainment. I think we all need it as well.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
And one thing I want to also highlight is, in general, like putting everything on the line. You put everything on the line.
Yeah.
If you lost that game, it's going to come back to you in your face, right? So I,
many
for one,
memes prepared. So many.
I had my tweets prepared as well.
Yeah.
And
we got the clutch. We got the 1v2. This one, we talked about it briefly on camera already.
Yes.
This is a you actually missed the quick scope here, but you throw this smoke, and what do you have to say about this smoke?
I mean, I didn't know exactly how it was going to go, but I didn't want to just smoke CT because I knew that I wanted to have something to play around. Like, if I just smoke CT, like, this can kind of cover me as well if I'm, like, moving around and stuff, which is exactly what ended up happening. So, and also I wanted to right-click it for it to not pop instantly, because I knew that the first guy was probably going to be afraid to push me.
Classic moment.
Classic moment.
That's a brilliant.
It was just like some more gasoline on the fire that you had already started.
I mean,
on Twitter.
everything in a clash like that doesn't have to be pitch perfect. Like, the thing is, if you take that scenario and you guys want to break it down, you can't just say, oh, every time he should smoke CT, he should fake plant, or he should plant instantly. This is all intuition, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, it could have gone wrong, it could have gone well, and this time it worked out, like it has sometimes in the past as well. But, I mean, one of the reasons as well, I mean, why there is the adrenaline and stuff is also because it was a tight game.
Yeah.
Like, yelling like this when it's like 14-3 or something and you won the first map, for me, I don't think that's equally fun. And I think that's even more BM. I think, you know, the people who take this, they should take it as a respect thing as well.
Yeah.
The reason is we're fired up because we have a hard time beating them.